Good morning. Beautiful sunrise coming up through the trees. We're on top of this little hill, not too far from the Missouri River. Contemplating Plan B. So my original intent was to park at the Lewis and Clark trailhead, hike out a little over a mile to the river bluffs on the Missouri River, kind of work my way down to the Katy Trail, and pick up the sunrise over the Missouri River. Remember a few weeks ago I was at the Quarry Lake to pick up the sunrise there, and I really had like the wrong direction for the sunrise, but on the way there the sunrise over the river was beautiful and perfect. So I learned a lesson, well, relearned a lesson maybe today. Always check your headlamp to make sure it's working before you leave the house. I have extra batteries, the whole 9 yards, the headlamp's just dead, and I couldn't make that hike. So then I tried to find another area to get to the river from, and I tried a different Katy Trail access. I tried the scenic viewpoint on a bluff, but it was totally blocked off by trees. And I tried the boat ramp by Klondike Park, but none of those were facing the right direction. So it's like, well, I'm out. You know, I left before 4:30. It's close to 6 probably now. And it's like, well, I'm out, and it's spring, and I'm sure the dogwoods and redbuds are still in bloom. All the other trees are just starting to leaf out. Maybe it'd be good to just kind of take a walk in the woods this morning, see how it's looking. I was going to make breakfast too, have my pack loaded with the stove and oatmeal and water and all that stuff. So sometimes you just got to go with Plan B. I'm going to watch the sun come up here, and once it's light enough, hit the trail, which seems to be really muddy right now. Oh, those birds are beautiful. Well, it's almost bright enough. I got to see the sunrise anyway. We're going to be hiking down into a valley. It's on the western side of the hill, so I'm going to have to wait a little bit more before I start hiking. There is a sign here. This is also a mountain biking trail, and the trail's closed to mountain bikes right now. It is pretty muddy, so curious to see what's ahead. Really out here, I mean, it could be morel season. It's been warm enough lately for that. So I might take a look around, see if I find some mushrooms. Just see what's in bloom around here too, how the woods are starting to green up. I'll be back to you in a little bit, let it get a little brighter, and we'll start our hike. Alright, I think we're pretty good now. Go ahead and get hiking. I'm kind of bummed though, I didn't bring any other lenses. I just have this wide angle lens on the camera. I'd like to have that telephoto, something where I could get close-ups on the wildlife and, you know, any flowers or anything like that, but we're going to have a good time anyway. I'm going to show you the valley we're about to hike down into, and we'll start our hike. So we have this little gravel trailhead parking, maybe 6-8 cars, something like that. We're at the top of the hill. We're going to head off this direction and go along the ridgeline for a bit, drop into the valley, this expansive valley here. At the other end of it is the home for Nathan, well, it was Nathan Boone's home, Daniel Boone's son. We're not going to go that far today though. We'll probably do 3.5 miles or so here in the valley, come back out here. Let's do a loop hike. Boy, I'm really feeling off my game right now. This is one of those things where I had one particular thing I was going to do in mind, and I only planned for that. Usually I would have, multiple lenses for the camera and a lot more gear with me. Instead, I've got this really little pack that's filled up with the jet boil stove and just a couple of other things. So right off the bat on this trail, we've got some beautiful wild phlox, and I'm going to do my best to capture all this with this wide-angle lens. We'll see what we can do, but this is great because it's a beautiful flower, and it seems kind of prolific here in this area. So we'll start with that, and hopefully we find a lot more. One of the things I really enjoy about making these videos is I'm sharing all of this with you, and I'm looking, I guess I should say, I'm looking for all the really pretty things that I get to share with you. And so it causes me to look around and notice a lot more of what's around me than, when I would hike before I made these videos. So now I'm looking up at the trees, I'm looking down at the ground, and all around for wildlife and flowers and just beautiful things to share, beautiful scenery and all that. In fact, now I see the sun finally peeking up above the river bluffs. Let me show you that. So I'm actually standing on Matson Hill Road right now. The trail's over here, only 20 feet. It kind of goes along the edge of the road before it drops down into the valley. It's a beautiful farm over here across the road with acres of mowed lawn and a big pond down here at the bottom. I'm not sure if the camera's going to capture the pond. And the sun coming up above the bluffs. And here's somebody's coming, so time to get off the road. When I'm heading down into the valley now, the trail is really not that bad. I mean, it's not really not so muddy that like I'm sinking into it. I could see probably why they don't want the bikes on it though. They have a tendency to really tear up the trail when it's soft and muddy like this. I wish Jackie was here my wife was here with me. It's those wild phlox are just all over the place here. One of her favorite flowers. There's a lot of these little spring beauties, little white flowers. They don't open up until the sun hits them though, so they're closed right now. Curious to see what else we have out here. The birds, they're everywhere. It's beautiful, beautiful morning. Wish you were here. It's great. Good temperature too. Well, the May apples are starting to fruit already, as you can see there. So I missed the blooms on these. These yellow flowers are bellworts. They're still quite small. They'll grow to be much larger. Beautiful flower. Hard to see from above though. The violets are beginning to come up too. Beautiful flower. This is a yellow violet or stream violet. Don't see those very often out here in the woods. Usually it's the purple violets. So I want to apologize for the shakiness of the camera. I'm got this camera on a tripod, but with this wide angle lens, I've just got to hold it in the air close to the flowers. And I'm not that steady, but hopefully this works out and it comes through and looks good. Alright, I'm not sure how well this is going to come through on this lens, but we're towards the bottom of the valley. We're in a grove of pawpaw trees. They're barely in leaf, but they're in bloom. So these should have a lot of fruit on them later this year. Of course, the squirrels will get to it way before the people will. Let me show you some of the blooms up close. Well, the buttercups are in bloom already. Boy, the understory is really greening up down here in the bottom of the valley. It is a beautiful day. I'm really glad this worked out the way it did. I'm having a great time. Now it looks like I'm a little late for the dogwoods and the redbuds. Just a few blooms left on the dogwoods. Here's some kind of daisy or aster. Not really sure. Sunflower family. Here's another one. These could be ragworts. Well, they're pretty, even though I don't know what they are. Some more buttercups. Well, the sun's coming up over the ridge and the wind is really picking up now. Yay, I was able to find a mayapple flower. They are beautiful. Someone or something broke off the leaves or ate the leaves above the flower, but you've got one behind it. Usually you can't see the flowers, they're directly under the leaves. That morning light is beautiful here in the woods. So much prettier than having to drive into it on the way into work, too. Wow. I love these cedar thickets. They're so dark and mysterious. There's a lot of variety out here. What a great morning. Here we have a trillium. They're not in bloom yet, but boy, they have a beautiful flower. Well, I just knocked off a tick walking across the back of my hand. I don't know why I thought I wouldn't get it being on this trail. I guess I have stepped off in the woods a few times. Okay, that time of year. You know, I haven't walked through any spider webs this morning, though. That's kind of a surprise. I mean, usually when the ticks are out, you're walking through spider webs. So, hey, I'll take it. Bonus. Well, I haven't had any luck with finding morels. And I actually just ran across another hiker. I thought I was the only one out here. He's been looking as well. So our best guess is it's been too cold lately, and we did just have quite a bit of rain, and this weekend in a couple of days is going to be in the 80s. So probably a few more days and they'll be out. It's my favorite mushroom to eat, and they're pretty easy to identify too. There, now the sun shines out and the spring beauties are open. Gorgeous little flower. Look at that, some Miami mist. I love how fringy they are on the edge of the petals. Now that the sun's out, the pawpaw blooms are opening up too. All the flowers are going to be more open now in the sun. They're really pretty. Well, the one thing about starting on a downhill on a loop hike, no matter which direction you go, you're going to finish it on the uphill. I've seen so many deer out here. It's beautiful big deer. In fact, this morning, way before sunup, I had quite a few on the road and the side of the road. Had a coyote run across the road in front of my car. That was pretty cool. I'm not sure how well this is going to show up, but roughly in the middle of the picture, you'll see some white buildings, a big old farmhouse, barn, just out in the valley all by itself. What a beautiful setting. Wow, that would be peaceful. Here in a different valley, we have another farm, kind of right above this limb right here. You can see a huge historic white home, a huge red barn off to the left. To the left of that is a smaller white barn, and to the left of that is an even smaller red barn. It's like some kind of animal enclosure, and just verdant green fields all through these rolling hills. Wow, that is just beautiful. Well, back to the trailhead, and it did turn out the way I had planned. I mean, originally I wanted to capture the sunrise over the Missouri River, make some breakfast, make some coffee. As the sun came up, I thought that was going to be really pretty. And I made 4 attempts at 4 different places and failed each time. So after that, I kind of pulled over and thought about what could I do since I'm out. I'm going to do something, that's for sure. I don't want to just go back home. So I was close to Matson Hill, and I thought, well, let's see how the spring woods are coming along. And I'm so glad that I did. Sometimes plan B is better. And it really was today. And it's about 9:45 now. I haven't had breakfast, so what I think I'm going to do is just head home and have a big brunch. That sounds delicious, and I'm ready to eat. Thanks for coming along. I really hope you enjoyed your time with me today, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.